This is Module 1, Lesson 19. We are going to start off by renaming units to subtract. This is a little bit different than anything we've done before, but I think you'll catch on fairly quickly because we've been doing very similar things with our lessons previously. Alrighty, this page is probably the trickiest page that I have seen so far, and hopefully I'll be able to do it with you in a way that will make it somewhat simple to understand. I don't know that it's going to be simple, to be honest. We're going to start up here, and we're starting with 110 minus 6 ones. And if you look at that, we're not really quite ready to subtract. And I know you could probably do it in your head, but what we're going to do instead is we're going to rename it. And we're going to rename that 110 as 10 ones. So now instead of saying 110 minus 6 ones, we will say 10 ones minus 6 ones is 4 ones. And that way we're keeping it all within the same unit, and that makes it a little bit simpler to subtract. So we're going to do that with all of these that we're coming up on here. We're starting here with 2 tens minus 6 ones. So we're going to look at that 2 tens minus 6 ones, and we're going to need to turn one of those tens into ones. So let's rename it as 110, 10 ones minus 6 ones, and we are left with 110 and 4 ones. All right, is this making a little bit of sense? Hopefully it'll make a little more sense as we go. The next one says we're starting here with 2 tens minus 110, 6 ones. So I think we're going to keep one of those tens. We'll keep 110 and we'll turn the other 10 of these two right here into 10 ones. So instead of saying 2 tens, we'll say 110, 10 ones minus 110, 6 ones. And that leaves us with 4 ones because our tens, when we subtracted 10 tens minus 110 minus 110 was 0. All right, the next one, we're going to look at 100 minus 6 tens. So we're going to turn that 100 into 10 tens minus 6 tens, and we are left with 4 tens. 2 hundreds minus 4 tens. Again, as long as we're able to work with these that are fairly close to each other, it's pretty straightforward. So instead of 2 hundreds, let's rename it as 100, 10 tens minus 4 tens, and we are left with 100. Let's see, 106 tens. The next one is 3 hundreds minus 100, 4 tens. So we're going to rename that as 2 hundreds, 10 tens minus 100, 4 tens. And if we're 2 hundreds minus 100 leaves us with 100, and our 10 tens minus 4 tens leaves us with 6 tens. You probably can't read my writing very well. This next one, 5 thousands minus 3 thousands, 3 hundreds. Well, let's turn that and rename that as 4 thousands, 10 hundreds minus 3 thousands, 3 hundreds. And that will leave us with 1,700s. This last one is really tricky. It's kind of a bear. So we have 2 10,000s minus 3 hundreds. Well, let's keep one of those 10,000s as we rename it. So we've got 1 10,000. And I'm going to just abbreviate here. It makes it a little bit easier. And with our other 10,000, let's turn that into 10,000s. But we still have to get down to the hundreds. So maybe let's turn it into 9,000s. And let's take that 1,000 that's left over and turn that into 10 tens. 10 hundreds. Let's fix that because we want that to be 10 hundreds and not 10 tens. We're going to subtract 3 hundredths. And if we look at what we've got left, we still have 1/10,000. We still have 9 thousandths. But we took 10 of our hundreds and we subtracted 3 hundredths, so we have 7 hundredths left. That was a little bit tricky. We kind of talked through it. I think it was difficult, and I would suggest that you go back over that and try that yourselves to just see if that works a little bit better for you. The next thing that we're going to do is add up to the next unit. This is a little bit also new, something we haven't done. At first it's going to start off nice and easy for us. And we start with the number 8. And how many more to make 10? Well, you should automatically in your head go, well, that would be 8 plus 2 is 10. So we look at 80. How many more to make 100? Well, that's 20. That's a nice little pattern there. It would be great if they continued with it, but guess what? We're not going to. We're going to look at that number 84 and think about, well, how many more to make up 100? You can look at this as saying, well, I need 6 more to get to 90 and 10 more to get to 100 from there. So that would be 16. Now we're going to try to make 1,000, and we're going to use the numbers that are down below. I'll underline them as we get to them so we can move along. So we're going to make 1,000 with these numbers. How do you make 1,000 with 200 plus 800? How about 250? Well, we can just go from that 800 and subtract 50 and say, well, 750. 450. Well, that for me, I go 50 more gets me to 500, and then I need 500. So that would be 550. 475. Whoops, I didn't mean to cross it out. 475 would take us, it's 25 more, so 25 less, it'd be 525. 600, well, I know 6 plus 4 is 10, so I know 60 plus 40 is 100, so I know that 600 plus 400 is 1,000. 680, well, that's really close to 700, which I know is 300 away, and so add 20 to that, 320. 700 plus 300 gets us to 1,000. 720 plus 280, 800. That's kind of going up to where we were before with our other problems, and that would tell us that we're going to be with 200. 805. Well, I'm 5 more, so I'll be 5 less than 200. 855. Well, that's 50 more, so I'm going to be 50 less. 145. And 945, I know I'm just right there. Add 5 gets me to 950, plus 50 more gets me to 1,000. All right, that was, again, a little bit different. You have to really think quickly on that. And I went pretty fast. I would take it a little bit slower if we were here together. All right, one more time, converting units. So we are really prepping for the next module that we're going to be doing. So I want you to write on your whiteboard, 1 meter equals how many centimeters? Well, we should remember this. This is 100. All right, we're going to keep going. 2 meters equals how many centimeters? 200. 3 meters equals, write it on your board, 300 centimeters. And I forgot to add in the centimeters here, but just take that as a given. 8 meters is how many centimeters? 800. 8 meters, 50 centimeters, 850 centimeters. 7 meters, 50 centimeters is 750 centimeters. And 4 meters, 25 centimeters, 425 centimeters. I'm going fairly fast on this. I know that the in-person students are getting quite fast at it, so I'm assuming that you are as well if you've been following along. All right, let's look at this next set. We're kind of breaking them apart the opposite way. We're starting with 100 centimeters, and we know already, because we did it above, that 100 centimeters is 1 meter. 150 centimeters is 1 meter, 50 centimeters. 250 centimeters, write it on your board. 2 meters, 50 centimeters. 350 centimeters is 3 meters, 50 centimeters. 950 centimeters, 9 meters, 50 centimeters. And 725 centimeters is 7 meters, 25 centimeters. All right, we have come to the end of Fluency for today. I think this is one of the hardest ones that we have done so far. So it was kind of nice to end with something that is pretty straightforward and pretty simple for all of us. All righty, have a good day.